What's up, YouTube? I thought I'd make a quick video about this computer I'm putting together. This is a Shinbro SR209A, I believe it is, case. There's several SR209 models. It's kind of a cool retro looking case. This case is actually still made today, but not in the beige color scheme. It's intended as kind of a small file server. It has some pretty cool features, some stuff that's not great about it, but it's definitely a little change up from the cases I normally use. It has that great retro beige look that I love. Has this removable from the front drive bay here. There's actually options to have a hot swap bay here. The motherboard I'm using for this build is this ASRock H170 Pro 4. And as you can see, the chip is a Celeron G3900. Pretty slow. This computer is just going to be used as like an experimental system for Linux to try out different distros on. Here's the rest of the parts I'll be using. Just a GTX 750. I picked up another one of these Antec power supplies used on eBay from a reseller. 8 gigs of Crucial Ballistics memory. I think it's 2133. And just the stock Intel CPU cooler. And I've also got this USB 3 card, which I'm not sure if I'll be using it or not. This motherboard does have front USB 3. As you can see, I've got this little 3.5-inch USB 3 to modernize the I/O on the front of this case. It just has USB 2 as standard. And I've also got this DVD burner, beige, vintage looking. Alright, I've got everything connected. I've got the cables kind of pulled out of the way with some rubber bands. It's not going to be too great with the cable management just due to the design of this case. But I think I've got everything connected, and I'm going to go ahead and try and get the first power on camera. I'm sure I'll be missing something or forgotten something and have to make another shot, but I guess we'll see. First, let's see if the power switch is on in the back. Alright. I guess it was already on. Alright, here we go. Pretty grimy looking monitor, but hopefully something pops up on the screen here in a second. This thing is going through some reboot cycles, it seems. Okay, finally. I was about to give up and turn the camera off. There we go. Finally got a picture on the screen. Things are looking good now. I think I'm about ready to put this computer over on its desk. I have made a few small changes to it. The first, as you'll see from what's happening now, is I've installed Linux Mint, the newest version. It's version 20, the Cinnamon desktop. And so far it seems to be working pretty well. I did have a few minor hiccups during installation that required just some small tweaks, slightly more involved than a typical Mint installation. I think this motherboard may need a firmware update. The other change I made was replacing this rear 120mm fan and also just deleting this front 92mm fan because this thing was especially not necessary. Both of these fans, you can see the branding didn't even match, but I replaced the rear fan with this Corsair, which honestly I didn't even consider these to be that quiet of fans, but it made a huge difference to the system. You can see it's into the desktop now. It doesn't boot up incredibly quickly, but it is a Celeron. The only thing I haven't been able to get working yet so far is the PCIe USB 3 card. The front USB 3 does work with the motherboard's front USB connector, but I can't get the rear ports to work or the front panel header on this card. I'm sure it's just something with Linux incompatibility. There were some workarounds I saw online, but really much more involved. I'm probably just going to remove the card and not worry about it. Alright, here's where this computer is going to live for the time being at least. I've just got one of my own videos playing in the background, so hopefully I won't get a copyright strike. I did have a minor issue. You can see the comically oversized television instead of a computer monitor. I need to pick up a DisplayPort cable because for whatever reason this Linux Mint version 20 has problems with the analog video output. I hooked up several different monitors to VGA and it basically said there was a timing issue with every monitor. And I've used, Mint with VGA connection in the past with older versions, so I do think it's a Linux related issue, but it's working fine over HDMI. I just need to get that other cable so I can use my 22-inch Dell monitor. Other than that, pretty happy with the performance of this computer. Linux being fairly lightweight definitely makes the slow chip feel a little snappier. This thing would be a total slug under Windows. Also, a quick aside about this desk. This is a glass computer desk. I think it's called the Limble from Office Depot. I actually was just given this desk for free, but I did have to make some repairs to it. It was missing a bolt, and I also had to basically tighten every bit of hardware on it. Also, the reason the keyboard tray is just sitting, or the keyboard is just sitting on top of the desk instead of the keyboard tray underneath, I do have to pick up some short hardware that'll correct that issue because the keyboard tray is not actually bolted to the little frame rails that it rides on, so I do need to correct that still. But other than that, for paying nothing, just spending 20-30 minutes worth of cleanup and repair work, pretty happy with the desk. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like or leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe for future audio and computer related content.